Welcome to the podcast today. I've just tried to come back with my Friday show. There's a good few things to report there. I was going to go through the Irish Independent news. The latest on the news there. Angry outburst as Enoch Buck committed to prison for a second time for contempt over trespass. That's that story there. It was on the news there. Sacked teacher has been sent to Mountjoy prison for a second time for contempt of court. Orders restraining from entering or trespassing on the school. So that story there, it's a good bit on the news. And then Andy Farrell, his sixth World Cup and what it brings to Ireland. It's an article there about Andy Farrell. It's in the premium section actually. And Wexford couple who died on busy road in Rome were due to take grandchildren to Disneyland. That was another terrible accident there, a terrible tragedy there. County Wexford couple. Members of the family, Paul and Mary O'Reilly, were travelled to Roll over the weekend to complete the identification of their parents. Describing the accident, Councillor Jim Murray, chairman of Rousseau district and cousin of Mary O'Reilly, say this is a traumatic incident for everyone involved. Councillor Moore said that County Wexford couples Darren, who works in Toulouse, France, and Andrew, who lives in Bray, arrived home yesterday. So that was the terrible thing there. Meanwhile, a book of condolences will be signed. So that's on the Irish Independent News. And Iconic Wicklow pub to become home for up to 25 Ukrainian refugees, according to this. It's Black Tom's Bar in Tinnahealy could be leased to provide temporary self-care accommodation for 25 refugees fleeing the Ukrainian war. And Luke O'Neill, Osmet, the miracle drugs that has world in Spain. There's a new drug out there, uh, work against heart disease and stroke, and could even help alcoholics, according to this. There's been a lot of excitement in the past week in the pharmaceutical world because of a drug called Ozempic. It is made by Danish company Novo Nordisk and is used in the treatment of diabetics. Makes a related drug called Wegovy, which is similar to this, but it is used to treat obesity. So that's a thing there that's on the Irish Independent team. And then on the sports news, more about the World Cup there, where French send out warning to rivals as the Open World Cup campaign on a high. It was France 27, New Zealand 13. Impressive France send out warning to rivals. It was a great display. For Andy Farrell, it was a reminder that topping the pool is a key priority. People have debated which of these sides you'd like to meet in the last place. Well, the debate is now null and void. After this display, was a great display there. I see champagne rugby, as they say, and then on that was the way it started, and there was an opening ceremony at the start of it. I saw that as well, and now I got the Irish Times. I was just gonna see what's on the Irish Times. I did the Irish Independent there. Just more about the dejection in Paris. It just says Republic of Ireland players Adam Ida and James McLean as Euro qualifying hopes receded following the 2-0 defeat to France at the European Championship. Donoghue says 16.4 billion budget on track, according to this. Spending plans to proceed even if there's a more volatility in Ireland's tax receipts. Minister says budget will include measures focused on the cost of living and nursing home residents' cash misused, Heaker finds. And then more about on the Smurfit business news, it says Smurfit Kappa is in major talks with US peer WestRock, and which create cardboard box making giant with a market value of 19 million, according to what's on the Irish Times here today. Asylum scheme, a scheme to provide floating accommodation for asylum seekers on ships, has been put on the back burner, says officials. So that's on the latest on that. And then inside coalition to consider a new child benefit scheme. I see plans to use floating hotels for asylum seekers shelves for immediate future. Martin committed to Israel-Palestinian peace strategy. Palestinians are getting access to basic human rights and are not being treated the same as others, according to Micheál Martin. Irish fans hit by scandalous World Cup prices. It was the fares there into the matches absorbent prices. I see. I don't know how anyone could afford them. Temperatures to hit 28 degrees as weather warning comes into effect. That was for today's. It was yellow reading. I see. And then it just says it's a sad day for the victims and families. It's a sad day for justice. This that story is for Emmett McGovern, the passing of the U.S. government's controversial legacy turned Wednesday into a traumatic day. It's a sad day for victims and families. Mum said Emmett was about to turn 8 when his oldest brother, 11, of Stephen, was killed in 1982. So this was Stephen died 3 days after being shot in the head of a blank range by a plastic bullet fired by British soldiers in Derry. That was a thing there. And legal acts would be astonished if amnesty lawful. And that's on page 11 there, page 4. Bind, pose, and then the rest of it is done. And then Europe will not change directive in blows to farmers. That's on this. And dairy farmers faces lower incomes than cow call over nitrates deregulation. So that's then on that. Liberian died of strangulation, state pathology tells inquest. Bruno moved to Cork to improve on English. Bruno, a native of Brazil, moved to Cork. So, and then it's very emotional. We never thought it would happen. That's a new special school has opened in South Dublin, an area traditionally underserved by special educational. And that's there on that. That's on page 7. And then more about that wonder drug. Make a pay doctors thousands, speaking fees and expenses. This is what you're never allowed to do to advertise. I am the worst, and so that's more about that pharmaceutical drug there on the paper, which I was reading there on the other page. And Ukrainian making tangible progress with counter-offensive, says US, and that's on this. And I see that man in North Korea is looking at Kim unexpected to travel to Russia to meet Putin as US warns would pay a price for arming Moscow. If Russia can get more sophisticated weapons from North Korea at cheaper prices, there is no reason why Moscow would not do that. And it shows you there, this man there, Kim, looking at his factory here as weapons, I suppose. It shows you that African leaders under threat, where is the next cow waiting to happen. It's an article there. And former Trump aides convicted of contempt of U.S. Congress. Peter Navarro, a former advisor to Donald Trump when he was in White House, speaks to reporters outside court. There's nothing really surprising in that, really. And then more about the Martin Morrissey program there. There's pictures there. Top lived to 106 of the Blue Zone, and Marty's Big Picture Show, which just says more about that. And then the album, then Chemical Brothers, there's one coming out there. It gets 3 stars. And Pretenders, Relentless, the show ain't over till it's over, and that gets 3 stars. The new album. And Fits, The Secret to Life. There's another one there as well. And then film review, Past Lives. That's a new film that's out. It gets a 5-star rating. It's beautiful, moving debut. Herald's a new star. It's directed by Celine Song and every new film. I didn't hear much about the film now, but you should check it out. It says it's a good film, well made, and good shots, and then that's what it says there. And My Big Fat Greek Wedding, that gets 2 stars, that film. So this Donald Clark, I think he writes in the paper here, the film reviews. So he gives that film anyway a good 5 stars. That Past Lives, and that's the film that gets a good review on that paper. So and then Derek Farrier, problems in education go far deeper than grade inflation. It is truly unjustifiable to look askance at the number of first-class honours degree in recent years and wonder how many of them are really of that standard. And that's what he says there. Ireland has come through Brexit much better than Britain, according to Stephen Collins, who writes an article there as well. And Farah Pound's unforgivable sin was to stand up for herself. Instead of sending her packing with her professional reputation damaged, the FRA should have commissioned a statue of Proud to stand on a plinth in its Abbottstown. That's the article there about Justice Justin McCarthy. So that was and then French policy proves too much outclassed Ireland. And so far on the table, it reads like this: France 15 points, Netherlands 6, Greece 6, Republic of Ireland 3, and Gibraltar 0. So we're looking very bleak for Ireland here. It's win or bust for Kenny's side now when they host the Netherlands, according to what this man is saying. Gavin Comiskey, he was at the match there and he gives the players ratings. Adam Ida, I see, got a 5. The best player on the pitch was Obj, and he got 7. And John Egan, he got 6. Uh, Gavin Bazoon got 6. I'm just reading some of the reviews. Manager got 5. The challenge was always going to be significant. Opted to leave Dara O'Shea in the starting team. So that's the review then on that. It's hard to be critical of a team who are quite simply outclassed in every position. So that was in Ken Early there. And then the golf, I was looking at it earlier on, first round. McIlroy, he's down a bit, but it's going to go on for the next 2 days. And that's on that paper as well, the Irish Times. And then Farrell banking on experience to get job done, according to this paper. They play Romania tomorrow at 2 o'clock if anyone wants to check it out. Forlong will give Romania the respect they deserve. And Jones has a gift for building his own reality. And so that's then. And Johnny Waterson, he writes an article. No need to see red as Ireland hope for vintage campaign this time around. A lot of people want to see Ireland getting into semi-final, which they have never done. It would be a great achievement if they could do that. I haven't got any expert to back my thing up or anything. It's into rugby, but I have to do it myself here and just give you what I think. And Jackie Hurley was on there earlier on, interviewing the people in the studio for the debate in the studio, asking them who's going to win it. I'm not sure what they said, but they gave their view on the honesty. They gave their view on it honestly, and that's the Irish Times. Then that's mainly everything that's in that. There was a nice wall chart as well in it. And Smokers Cafe eyes Irish market as led to 19 billion in merger talks. This is the business part. And then it says more something about radio actually, how radio aims to keep listeners happy. And that's on page 5. Uh, I must check that out. It doesn't say, it just says the different things. For the finalists, 4 finalists category for this year's awards. Uh, An Irish radio station's bid to complete and smart speaker age. Just says more about the different people that are doing podcasts and all. They're all on the podcast now. It's the same as myself. Ryan Tuberty was offered a he's in London. He's probably going to do a podcast show as well, I reckon. And these are all the people here that want skills there, certain skills, and they're looking at So that article then is, and then more about cars. Polish and Poles define Polestar cars, the slick Swedish electric performance brand. I see they're doing good, fairly good there, them cars. And then there's quantum academic posts. There's a few jobs there in that paper. I'll check them out after. Just more then on that, and something about degrees there. Film, the market funnel, consumers looking at social media reviews, Amazon reviews, and other review sites they find more convincing than what brands say about them itself. The landscape is shifting all the time. You have to learn about who's on the different channels. Alison O'Connor, marketing director of Tree UK and Rome. So that's what she says. And then take off without any smart landing in your post holiday bills. Just says about the holiday market there. And more something about then on the back page about Sean Coyne at home. So there's an article then about that. Hard to see Quinn fading onto the shadows. Forbes quits piano competition. G. Forbes has resigned as a director of Dublin Piano Competition, I see. And that's on the back page. That's on the business paper. So that's then on that. On that paper, the Irish Times, the business section. And then I have to check the Sky News thing. There's more about this man there. Close relative of escaped terror suspect urges him to hand himself in if a prison manhunt latest. And comedian and impersonator Mark Yarwood dies. That is a he could do any voices. He could do Prince Charles. He could do he copied the royal family a lot. He became a household name in the 1960s and 1970s, attracting huge TV audience for his impersonations and politicians. He leaves behind an immeasurable void in the entertainment industry. He spent his later years at the Charity Care Home house in Twickenham, South East London. So he could do any voice. He done Ted Heath, he done Harold Winston. His initial success came on Sunday night at the London Palladium, in which he first appeared in 1964. So that is sad. I looked at that actually. I used to look at that in the early days. He was on ITV, I think. It was quite good. Macron booed at Rugby World Cup opening ceremony. I saw that myself, and that was on the Sky News. That's mostly everything that's on the Sky News. Then on that, I will come back on that again. I was just gonna check what's tweeting there. I done that the last day. It's a new thing on the program. I check it on my device here. If I could see it now, see what's tweeting at the moment. It just says Bray Wonders, the Bray Wonders game. Bray were beaten there tonight, 4-1. The table now, that makes a big difference there. Go, yeah, top then on that team. And then there was a match there on played there in Wicklow there tonight. Senior football results. It was Kiltegan won actually. That's as far as I know. Kiltegan 2-12. Blessington 1-13. So that was I'm not sure how the table that affects the table. I think it's all these matches are being played, and there's one going to be it's going to be two tomorrow, and then three on Sunday. I'm going to myself a Bray match. So that's what's tweeting down on that about Graham about the matches there. And then Daniel Lambert arrived back to the original capital airport. Taxi queue, hundreds of people. He just giving you position there. And Matt Cooper, Ireland absolutely have to win our pool now. So, and that's what he says there. With this result. Candlelight concerts. Enjoy a host of concerts illuminated by candlelight. And then Republic of Ireland players. The under 20s they won as well. They won 3-2. Ireland they won Turkey. So that was that match. And Royal Nugent, what do I think we've learned tonight? Proof for me that New Zealand at the level to win World Cup. Proof that beating France at home in the World Cup is going to be very difficult. And that's on there. And then Ray Darcy is on a Happy Friday. TikTok superstar Helen Drum From sound quality gifts, Monaghan was a ray of sunshine this afternoon. She showed up in the thing, and I see that Patrick Keelty is there. He's on it as well, doing promo for the Late Late Show in a coffee shop. Patrick Keelty, he's on the thing. He's tweeting as well. And then Podge and Raj, house is hanging 9 hours ago. They tweet a lot as well. And some called it Black Friday, Monday. House it hanging, they say, and they look at you're sick, excited, or what? And Jesus, they have a picture of Piers Morgan and Ryan Tubridy, Ryan Podge, Jesus, even we wouldn't get a photo with the Gobsheen. They say the Sacre Centre Club, great to see Ireland's biggest TV star Ryan Tubridy in London. So that's what Podge say. RTE's new season, two things I say about Keith Duffy T, what the absolutely feck and where's Dream Woman, hidden assets. And they show Mary Coughlin as well, so they're tweeting as well, Podge and Raj. And then which option would they go for? Or GA considers changes to hurling league format. Now I'll have to read that out further. That was sent 14 hours ago. So they're the stuff that's tweeting. I just thought I'd come back with a quick podcast anyway and go through the news. So I hope you enjoyed today, my Friday show. I'm gone up a bit there. I would like to thank the people for listening to my show, giving me good feedback. So thanks very much for listening. And I'll be back on another show, results of the day, and thanks for listening.